Hello everybody, this is Artz Note. Today we're trying to do something different. As you can see, we are outside right now. It's not in the studio anymore. So let me explain the reason, because we're going to use the spray paint today. Well, first of all, I want to clarify that even though this is in the modeling section, but these paint are actually for the wood piece rather than the plaster piece. So I'm just doing this for demonstration. If you can, like, if you don't want to, do the investment by the because that is the machine itself is pretty expensive for the airbrush. So the alternative will be like using the spray paint, but it has its disadvantage and advantage. I will explain them. For example, the primer coat actually is not a bad idea to use a spray paint bottle to do the primer coat, because the particle is pretty thick and you may chalk your airbrush if you don't clean it correctly. So using the spray paint can give you the advantage of avoiding ruining your airbrush. However, during the paint section, because we are trying to go into pretty decent details, since the model is such a small piece, and you can do you want to do the something called the gradients, and that will be a little bit difficult for you to use the spray paint on the smaller scale. Of course, you can see all the graffitis painting amazing, and they got all the details. But remember, that's relatively larger scale. But we're dealing with smaller, more delicate stuff. So the airbrush, personally, I would prefer the airbrush instead of the spray paint, and it's also more environmental friendly. I know I said it many times, but yeah. So today we're going to use a wood piece. This is probably from my brother's work, and he just practicing using the lathe, which we're probably not going to do that. But yeah, just like plastic model, use the sandpaper to sanding the surface, so you won't give you a huge hole or something. And if you found a big dam or something you want to cover, there's a tool, actually is called the Putty, like this one. And this one, of course, is for the you can see some metal and woods, fiberglass. Yeah, not for our plastic use though. But yeah, this is good for the wood piece. And I just roughly going to smooth it, because I'm not going to do it for the whole video. Like waiting, and you may notice that I use the wire to tighten it up. This is just like a screw we're doing with our model, because we don't want to paint our hand and we're leaving some fingerprint while doing the coloring process. And also, after you use the dry sandpaper, you can also try the thing called a waterproof, wet paper. This is pretty easy. You just dip it in the water and do the smoothing, but you're trying to keep the sandpaper wet. And for now we're not doing that, because I'm starting to go do the primer already. So let's get to it. The first thing you want to use the spray paint is to shake it pretty well. So you may want to shake it for a minute or so, just to make sure the paint inside is mixed properly. Otherwise, you'll get a chunk of paint or primer, and eventually you will dripping, and you you really want to avoid that, because when that happens, you probably need to like go back, sand it all out, and do it all over again. So just avoiding. Also, the way we're using the spray paint bottle is like trying to get a pretty thin coat, and like for example, we're on the wood piece. We probably will have to go like 3 layers of the primer, so that it gets pretty even cover. And just like my professor said, 3 thin layers is better than 1 thick coat. Okay, and as you can see, the spray model always got a spout, so make sure you got the direction right. And the when we press it, we won't press it like all the way down. We just gently tap it like multiple times. What happens is it gives you like even strength of the compressed air inside the can, so you won't like if you like press it all the way, you get weaker and weaker and weaker, and the paint will go like thicker and thicker, and you don't want that, because we want a consistent thin layer of the paint, right? And another thing is, when we press it, we're trying to use the press drag method, because what happens is after we use it, every time we press it and we hold it, the some of the paint that's at the end tip of it will land at the spout. So next time you press it again, the old paint and the new paint will come all together. So you give you a little bit thicker, or even like almost like dribbling paint. And that's, yeah, of course we want to avoid that to maintain a consistency, right? I think, yeah, this is probably ready to go, so let's do this. And as you can see, it's wobbling around, so right, so remember, press and drag like this. Alright, and different direction. Okay, the bottom part will be a little bit trickier. Okay, you can still see the wood coming through, but yeah, that's it for now, because we want like a 3 layer of thin paint. So we'll just leave it alone, like let it dry, and we will come back for another layer. Alright, this is our 3rd layer of the primer. So as you can tell, the surface is still very rough, and the top part actually is a little bit too thick. So what I will do is like go back and wet sand it before I even try to put on my first coat of color. But yeah, that's what primers do, because they will reveal all the imperfection that you have on your piece, even though you may not see it at the first hand. And another way to observe it is using the light. Just hit it directly, the spotlight, and see the reflection side, and you can see all the dams or the cracks or just everything. You will just pops out. So as you can imagine, if we didn't do the primer the first hand, we put on color directly, the outcome will probably the same, miserable. But yeah, we put this and give it a pretty even surface and check all the place we need to fix. And by the way, even this is my hand, even though I try to like put it on the primer pretty carefully, but still the paint will go on your fingers, and for that reason you may try to avoid wearing any like precious ring or even watch. I don't wear watch that much because of like this situation. So yeah, just keep in mind you just want to even not asleep but yeah, I'm confident with that. So yeah, that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this, please drop a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you all in the next